I'm back. It's funny, I said I'm back, and I'm thinking, who said that? That sounds familiar. And I can't really remember. Then Jack goes, oh, that was, because I was saying, well, maybe I should say, I'm back. And he says, Jack Nicholson in The Shining. He's really up on his movies more than me. I kind of, they go, but I do like Jack Nicholson. So, yeah, The Shining. And it is a little scary because the terrarium experiment. We're going to take it apart piece by piece, and I have a new pot. It's got one hole in the bottom. It's quite shallow. Terracotta on the inside and enamel on the outside. So once I put that enamel on the outside, it can't breathe as much, but the terracotta on the inside, the clay, it will hold a little more moisture. So we know if you have dry, like in the winter we get dry here, but the humidity is really good. And there's good news after I have to share with you. Shockingly good news. Anyway, we're going to redo this. We're going to decide what was the main problem. But I think if you had a very large terrarium and you could put a fan, it would help. Because I can blow in there every day. Well, it gets to be a lot of work. And I could mist and I could take the lid on and off. But it was an experiment, and I had this beautiful jar, and I thought, well, I'll try it. But I'll probably put my rice cakes or tea in it or something. I don't know. So anyway, let's take the lid off, and we'll put it over there. And let's look at them both. And I looked at them this morning, and that's when I decided I had to do this. You know, what did I notice? And when you fill your orchids, you can feel the difference in them. And the leaves should be firm, and even the roots feel limp to me. So there is a new one here. Of course, it was there, it just didn't come in a few days. And there's one here. But these, they feel limp to me. They're not happy. The leaves are still okay. I did not want to leave them in here so long that I'll be crying after. No. So there's that one. And this is the Phalaenopsis. And it has some new shoots. But there was two mushy things I pulled off yesterday I didn't like. So the leaves are still fine. So we got that, and that is a mini phal, that one. And I've got their names here. Oops. So I think this one is, of course, this is from my mother orchid, my first oldest orchid. So I think this one is Seagull Crawfish Pie, but I'm not certain. I have to double check on that. Okay, and then here we got the Slipper Orchid, and it's still the same, 3 roots, but you know, they're drier. They don't so that's Paphiopedilum Hungshine Macbeth, Silver Bell. So we're going to put that there. I just, you know, I didn't want to leave them here so long that I regret it. And things feel limp. That's a piece of moss. We can throw that away. Now this one, it was the healthiest of the ones I put in there. And it's still healthy. There might have been some growth on these new shoots, but I think that the thing is, I think I'm smart to do them. This is Phalaenopsis socrati, very strange name. Okay, there's one more in here. was it? One that was doing the worst, that I was losing. And I thought it was looking worse. I really did. So there's a couple tiny little new shoots on the end there, still very dry, very limp. So that's Horella reticula. So now I have to decide what I want to put in here. And I have some bark that I'm soaking, and I have some moss. I never do have much. Oh, I should show you this. This is the pot that this arrangement was in. So I actually got a pot out of the deal. It didn't get broken or anything. It looks like it was used for a paint can at some time before they put that arrangement in it. Okay, so I thought I'd show you that. So let's take this apart bit by bit. Now, I should get a little bowl for a minute. There. Because I'm thinking I might put the fern in the middle. You know, what's that? You gotta know when you gotta know when to hold up, and you gotta know when to, anyway, sometimes songs go through my head. Okay, I'm thinking, I'm gonna put it in a bowl. That's how much soil I had on the fern. The fern is even kind of, it's sort of, it looks okay, but it's just not got the life in it had. So, I got a bucket here. Let's assess this. Now this is what, of course I never have that good luck with fern, but it was growing on the top, but it was starting to go musty. Can't really show you anything, but there was a lot of undergrowth with it. A lot of other stuff. There's the little frog. Sorry. So anyway, I might use some of this dirt just under where I put the mat. Now what else is in here next is I had put that screen. So it did stop the stuff from going through. And you know what? There is drainage here, but because I want to put a few pebbles on the bottom, I'm going to put maybe just one layer of screen. There, keep one. You never know, I might use it again. I think I'm going to put a little bit of the charcoal and rock on the bottom. Just there's some white pebbles, some rocks from outside, and charcoal. Maybe a little more. Don't break my jar because I really use it. Anyway, the flower arrangement, happy with that. There. Okay, I think that's enough. So I'll put this over here before I break it. There. And garbage can go here. Can you see this orchid? Now, that's one I repotted in the last video. And I've been watering it every second day because Barkus always takes about a month to really, at least a month to really settle in. I didn't lose any buds. They've all opened. And no flowers have dropped. And I think that's only because I have been watering it more, and it's in a smaller pot, which here dries quicker. So, but the other thing, the leaves, I think they're still firm. They're not 100% how they were, but they haven't dropped like a lot of them do when I repot them. So maybe a little extra water is helping in a smaller pot. maybe a smaller pot is good till they, excuse me, hamburger for that. Maybe a smaller pot is better until they get established. But I'm going to give it 1 month before I check it. At 1 month, I will go in and we'll see how the roots are looking. But for now, we're going to leave it. So I did put it here. I'm going to take you on an orchid video, how I've got them all inside after. And of course I've got Alphinia. Look at this, she's just about to open another one. And there's more coming. I've never seen anything like it. Now I'd like to see a new leaf. I don't want to be complaining. But I've never had an orchid that just keeps flowering and flowering. And this has been since April 28th. This orchid has been flowering. And this was Roehampton Orchids when I ordered Charlena or whatever, the speckled leafed little orchid. This was my free orchid. They were expensive, so it's very nice to get a free one, but what a surprise. They knew something I didn't know. So, yes, she's still behaving amazingly. I just brought her over for now. So, now, I'm going to keep the fern. I think I'm going to keep the fern. And I'm thinking it might add a little humidity. And the fern is in dirt. Not a lot, but I'm going to put bark around. I seem to do better with my orchids with bark, but they still weren't happy. And when you're having trouble, moss can save the day, and I do have some moss there, but I'm sure not going to put it as thick as in a terrarium because I think that was a mistake. But this was the last of my bag of medium bark, and a lot of it is very small pieces. Look at that. So I think this will be fine. And the fern's kind of in its own little spot. So now we got another experiment happening, and we'll see how that goes. But I think it was lack of air, and I don't think it was really too much humidity. The outside moss could have been an issue, but I don't know. I think it was just not enough air, and I wasn't going to think about hooking a fan onto a jar. So, and yeah, I blew in it and everything. But even Jack blew in there. Ah. Not like training your husbands, right? He's just been around me often enough. He talks about mechanical and electrical. Of course, with me, it's art or orchids. So, okay, I'm going to put a teeny bit of moss, and I think I might put these guys in the bark first. So, the biggest ones I'll put, well, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the biggest ones I'll put on a corner. So I'll just clear some bark. And, poor thing, I did put some seaweed extract in this bark. I'll twist it around and get it down into it. Yeah. And then I'll probably start leaking on the counter very soon. I don't know, for me, for here, bark still works, but I think I might put a little bit of moss on the top. I'll try it. But what really usually happens with me is it dries, and I'm not going to miss it every day, because that's like watering your orchid every day, and they really don't want to be. So I may water it more. I may just water it even through the winter half days. None of the orchids now are getting more than once a week. The humidity has been up. We've had rain, so the humidity's good, so I don't have my misters on. I cleaned all the bowls and they're empty. And until the humidity, because it gets colder outside, and then of course it gets drier because the furnace comes on. But we haven't had our furnace on yet because even though it's been like 48 outside, it takes a while to penetrate the house so that the furnace comes on. Mom's got hers on downstairs, but she's older and she feels it quicker. Okay, so now we'll put this poor one in. Let's dip it in the seaweed extract and water. Poor thing. Yeah, you know, you have to know when to hold up, because I looked at them and I don't want to lose them, because you know I have had them a long time and they're struggling, but I don't want to lose them. So we're going to try this and we'll see how this works in comparison. And the fern might help too with a little bit of the humidity. I noticed Granny sent a picture into the community and she had ferns with her orchids, and I've read that orchids and ferns get along well together, so we're going to try it. I love the community. I look at everything. I don't comment there. If I'm going to comment on the pictures you send, they come into my email, so I comment back. And then anybody else, they can say whatever they want. I don't care. I do care. I don't disagree or agree. I just let the people have their time to visit with each other and be open to different thoughts, different opinions, just different ways of doing things. Okay, now in this corner, I'm going to put the stump that never had any leaves. Now we were talking about just a piece of the center pole, never had any leaves, and it's taken, I don't know, it's been even longer than a year, and I've tried everything. And I mean it, everything, plastic bag, moss, I've tried it. So I mean, it's still alive. But I'm waiting for this like master boost, and I hoped I'd see it in the growing season, but it didn't happen. So we're going to leave that. So we got this one. This is kind of cute. I'll leave it on the counter for a while where I can keep a good eye on it. There. Poor Horella reticula. Maybe I should soak her too, because she's real dry. Let me put her in there. And then I can keep an eye on them. That's the best thing. You just can't try something new and expect everything to go your way first. Now I have that one little slipper orchid. Well, that's a big one and that's a big one, so it's definitely going to go here. So we'll see how it does. We'll just make a little hole. There. Still a little bark. There. So I'll give you a close-up of that. Put that little frog in there. He needs a bath too. There. Okay. So now I think I'm going to leave it on the counter. Keep my eye on it. It'll look nice just over here. And yes, if I miss, when I miss, I don't miss straight down. Now, you can mist your aerial roots, fine. You can mist the air so that the mist falls. Better to put quite a few squirts up here than always doing it here, because what will happen, and through experiments I've learned, you will turn it will be too bark because they too wet in the bark, because they do like to dry out a bit also. So we're just going to put that over here. Probably find a little dish to put under it in case it drips. So it's a bit more bark in here I could probably put on too. So was going to put some moss, wasn't I? Do you think I need it? Do you think I need moss on there? They weren't bark before, but it was a different situation. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to put it in a little area out on the shady side of the house. Maybe it'll grow around the trees there. So I think that's what I'll do. I do have some there, and I do have some fresh because I brought extra home. But I think that's what I do. So what I want to do next is show you my surprise. Now, somebody said they're getting spikes. Now, I never get spikes until December. I start watching for even November. But somebody said they're getting spikes too. And it's been a strange year, all that heat, all that smoke, and a kind of a cooler start to fall. But guess what? I've noticed about 3 spikes. Unheard of here, strange things happening. The bushes that grow all down the side of the house, it's so pretty outside right now. I'll have to do a video out there soon. But anyway, they've all got, it's wisteria that grows all down the side. They've all got new shoots as if it's spring. Lots, not just a few, lots. And a couple of the evergreens, same thing. I don't know, we have the pruners coming one day because one of our big trees looks like it might be dying. So best to get it down before it breaks and the garden vents and stuff. So, I don't know. But yes, let's go for a tour and see what's happening and how I've got things set up for the winter until my other 2 windows come. So, first, I have 1 traffic cone on the floor here. This is the last new leaf. And if you go around, I go, oh, firm, good, firm. So this is the one that had the accident. For those who don't know, it had a big crash, lost a couple leaves. I had to cut part off of that one. But now it's got nice new leaves coming, and it looks pretty happy. So no spike on that one. And this is my big lip. Now I'm not expecting any spikes on this one, but you can see growth peeking out of the holes there. And a new leaf. And the last leaf is nice and firm. So the leaves have stayed firm. So this one is from, it was a year old just after Valentine's Day. So this is an older one, and it's happy, and also same thing, good handshakes, firm. Okay, now this is an older orchid that suffered a bit, but it seems to have settled in. The newest leaf is here. When you see your new leaves are big and your old ones are, if a new one comes real small, it's struggling. So that looks good. But here, now I've always showed you these 2 and said they're struggling, right? So this is the last leaf. It's just coming, it's nice and firm, and so was this other one. But way down in here, I know you have to really look. That is a spike coming. And you can go around and see how many spikes you're going to get, because if you count 2 leaves down, and look, if you've got 2 leaves empty on both sides and no sign of an old spike, you might get 2 spikes, but you have to have 2 leaves usually, and then an empty spot where the spike comes. Now this one, I haven't seen anything happening here, but the last leaf did way better than the one before, and I said it was struggling, so that's good. And I don't know if something's happening up here. Watering day, I'll have another look, but lots of leaves, we'll see. And then this was in full sun all summer in the heat. I think I moved it once, but it loves to be in the window, and it can even take this window in full sun all summer. Maybe not this summer, but normal summers. And of course, I got this still hanging here. Now there's so many of these little bugs outside. Every time we open a door, they come in, these darn fruit flies. But you can see there's lots dead in the water, and there's lots flying around. Works good. So that's apple cider vinegar with the mother, a little bit of wine, and an old banana skin. And it's the banana skin that attracts them. Yeah. Okay, these on the Monet pot, very old orchids, tons of flowers in the past, in a little spike coming way in there. Yeah. I haven't seen the rest. Watering day, I'll have another look. But nice firm leaves. Now, one way up here, it was one of the ones that was out in the greenhouse for so long. So that's what's happening in this window. Of course, now the sun isn't as hot. They're here till next spring when it turns too hot again. And then this window, I've done a little bit different. I have the table set up here with the basket. And these guys, I've soaked them when I water because the leaves are so close to the flowers. But these were all rescues and nearly gone, and they seem quite happy together. The group planting. You have to let me know how your group planting is. Boy, wouldn't it be beautiful if they all spike. So, things are happening. Strange things are happening. Yeah. So, and then I got this one back here that I repotted. And this leaf is pretty good. So, it's doing fairly good. And I'm not sure what's happening up here. I think I see maybe something going on. Not sure what. Not sure what. Maybe a new leaf. So. And of course, this is the type of window I'm having, but they'll be a lot smaller. This is the type of window. So, they're all doing good. But look in here. Look in here. That is a spike. 1, 2 leaves down. Now 1, 2. Now whether I get one in there this year, because I have enough leaves on this orchid, I could get a double spike. Now this is the one that was my orchid, and this is the one that was new and I put in here. And you can tell it suffered. This is a shorter leaf. I don't think it'll become as it should. But the next one will, because it's got lots of roots and it is establishing. So, this is the mother of the little one I'm trying to grow. And she took a shock, but she has really good roots growing now, and her leaves are healthy, so she looks good. And over here, things are looking good. And then I put some up here. Lots of root growth. They seem happy. Those are 2 white ones. And of course, this is the passion flower I'm going to wind around the basket. So, and then I have one over here, and this is the one of the ones that was out in the greenhouse for the whole summer, and then got the heat and got the smoke, but is trying to do something. So, the Christmas cactus, and my Hoya, which is around a tomato cage. And every time I see strands coming out to wander, then I just wind them around. And it's in a terracotta pot, a big terracotta pot, and normal potting soil, just what I use for everything. And of course I've had this. Remember, I got that free necklace came with it. Anybody that saw that old video, it was all silver, and it said love, life, and live or something. Beautiful. So anyway, my bamboo bush is doing good. And the rabbit's foot fern that we found, that traffic cone, wasn't call it a traffic cone, but we found that cone-shaped pot at a garage sale, and Jack made a stand for it. And this fern is liking it here. I used to keep 2 traffic cones here, but it just needs more space. Jack likes ferns, so it looks pretty beautiful. And of course the ZZ plant, it sent out this huge new, didn't spring, but it's as healthy as anything. And that's an outdoor urn I painted and repotted it into. So once it's there, it's there. So of course pretty soon I'll have 2 windows here. That doesn't mean more orchids, because I don't want to bury myself in them, but it means more space, and for cooler orchids can go on this end of the house. Lots of light, but cooler. So these is where I keep the babies and the ones I showed you. So that's what's happening here. So that's it till next time. We'll see what other mischief I'm getting into while we wait for all our orchids to spike. Bye for now.